Alrighty, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new review. Today I'll be talking about how I'm up a little bit over $51,000 trading ES today with my community. And so yeah, let's get into it. Quick disclaimer to show you guys real quick. As you guys know, right, as of recent, what we've been doing consistently is showcasing my journey with these specific Lucid accounts that we've been trading. But I want to kind of just talk about this real quick. Last night, we ended up taking a trade, which was a half-hour trade. And during that event, I ended up taking on my Trade Evade accounts, right, my Lucid accounts. But as you guys know, if you don't know, I trade multiple prop firms, so that requires me to have multiple tabs. I trade my TPT live accounts, I trade my personal equity, and I also trade these Lucid accounts here. And so what that does sometimes when you have multiple tabs open in one browser is it causes you to disconnect off one of the brokers. And so for me, I had to refresh. Initially, I had my group trader ticked on, but unfortunately, after I had refreshed and executed the trade, I did not see this, which is pretty much that Trade Evade untagged my group trader, meaning instead of copying all 5 accounts, it copied 1 account. So this trade here was supposed to be 15 MNQ, 15 micros on the NASDAQ off 5 accounts, meaning each account should have had 3 micros over 5 accounts total. But it ended up taking just 1 account and filling the account fully with 15 micros. So 4 accounts happened to not be touched, and 1 account ended up taking the hit. As it was obviously oversized. It was supposed to be about a $250 loss. If we took the loss, right, that was the risk on the trade. But since it was 1 account, right, you multiply that by 4, 5, whatever the math was. Essentially around $1,500 is what the loss was. So at this point in time, we were pretty much in a pickle, right? I could have easily continued off with 4 accounts, or we could have started with 5 new accounts, and it could have been straight to funded accounts. As you guys know, with these accounts specifically, my goal and what I wanted to do is start from day one, have daily reviews, and trade them live with my community, and just go over the process of compounding into payout number 1. What I will do now with these 5 accounts, as we decided in chat, and I think the reason chat really wanted this, I think more so is because of this, I'm going to be starting from day 1 again on these straight to funded accounts, all the way into being moved live. Yes, you heard it here. Day 1 into being moved live with my community. As you guys know, the Lucid Black accounts that I were trading, like those accounts I was only going to be on for maybe a week or 2 just to kind of show you guys. With these straight to funded accounts, I'll be trading them next to my TPT live accounts and my personal equity over the duration of time until I get moved live. So that could take anywhere from a month, 2 months, 3 months, which is great for the consistency of these reviews and for you guys in general. So that's more so what we'll do. You guys have to also look at it from my perspective, right? You could be like, Lanto, like you still have 4 healthy accounts which you deleted. I did. But for me specifically, you guys have to remember, like these Lucid accounts, there's not much reward for me in this. The cap's $15,000 per payout. I'm not saying $15,000 is not a lot of money, or excuse me, I'm not saying $15,000 is not a lot of money. But for me specifically, in my situation, obviously I live in Puerto Rico. You guys think me making $15,000 a payout would really pay for, me being in Puerto Rico, not just to, sound egotistical, but essentially, obviously I make a lot more money trading my TPT personal, and I make a lot more trading my personal equity, right? So for me, it's just like when I look at these accounts, like at bare minimum, I have to be trading 5 accounts. And so, since we're not doing that, so I thought it'd be smarter if we just more so did the straight to funded accounts. You guys remember, these accounts were cooking. If you guys go watch the last couple of reviews, it's all there for transparency. And again, I want to be transparent here again with this here specifically. So yeah, let's move on, talk about the day. In terms of the trading session coming into the open, I was a bit more neutral, but after seeking our opening range move, I was clearly bearish. If you guys don't know what we do, we end up utilizing this thing called an opening range move. That's how I identify it. It's essentially where you let the New York open, the 9:30 bell, for about the first 5, 10, 15 minutes. It depends how long we take, but you let the initial move into an overnight high or low happen. And based upon that, that is where we more so look to either confirm or not confirm our buys for the session. And so for me specifically, again, like I said, I was a bit more neutral. We had seen overnight price essentially build up through Asia. Then we had seen London essentially consolidate. But for me specifically, I wanted to see how the opening range move was here. And clearly we had a very bearish opening range move where we had seen price, dramatically sell, trading into London lows, then also trading into this 30-minute gap, which we inverted immediately, and also trading into these Asia lows, which we immediately disrespected once taking out that sell side. So once we had done that, clarity was there in terms of what the market wanted to do. And from there, specifically, all I wanted to do was ride a continuation model trade and to further draw further sell side. The reason you see this is utilizing our 3 components of price action. We see prices very clear and distributing at a state where it clearly wants to draw into higher time frame sell side. We also see obviously the draw being clear, right, in multiple areas of interest, where we had a 4-hour gap entry, a 4-hour gap fill, and an internal wick low. And in terms of entry model, we just simply had to be patient for that. A lot of people in chat initially off the live were like, Lanto, we're dumping. How come we're not anything? I'm like, relax, right? If the market offers you entry, you will capitalize. If not, it's okay. You guys have to remember it's a day-to-day approach. You don't need to capitalize on every single move in the history of the stock market, right? No matter if you make money today or not, no matter if you lose money today or not, the markets will always be here tomorrow. And so for me, that's kind of my approach, simply waiting for our entry model. And eventually we get that. We simply are waiting here. We're patient. We see price essentially look to trade further downside. And we eventually get a retrace sequence where we see price come back up here. And we see price turn this bearish gap into a bullish inversion fair value gap. And also create a 1-minute bullish gap here as well. So my thought process is, okay, if we could retrace here, see price invert this 1-minute bullish FEG go invert, which mean it'd be a bearish inversion fair value gap. And also see this 1-minute bullish IFEG invalidate and turn back to being bearish. I feel like these two sequences, these two arrays having two bearish reactions would be good confirmation in taking a potential entry in this trade. The stop loss off this trade was going to be this 1-minute swing high. I felt this was a good validation point because had we came down here and we had seen price come down and give entry and then come back up and trade above that swing high, I felt like there could have been enough structure in the market where we could have definitely seen a move back up. And we also had seen that 4-hour gap fill here. So there's definitely an area where we could have definitely seen price look to retrace at the minimum. So for me, I kept risk a bit tighter. It was a 1-hour risk day because today it's Thursday, the 29th. So obviously today is scheduled to be a 1-hour risk day. We take the trade. Confirmation on this trade here happened to be at 10:27 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here are the executions for the ES accounts. I ended up taking the trade. This was your confirmation. I took the trade about 15 seconds after because I had executed it on my TPT and personal, and then took the trade on here. We took the trade here, and the risk on today's trade was $1,000 per account. And so that resulted in me sizing around 15 micros per account. And so yeah, we ended up seeing a really nice sell here. Our take profit 1 on this trade here was based, this internal wick low is a higher time frame internal wick low, right? Off that new week opening gap that we had before, right? We then take the trade. We see price slowly, digest and come back down. We then see price eventually hit that take profit 1 goal, which then you see me, trim my position here, right? And then eventually we end up hitting consistency. I would have loved to hold this trade furthermore, as I did on my TPT accounts, as I did on my personal account, but we ended up hitting consistency. If you guys do not know, the loosely strike to funded accounts, the 150K accounts, I believe all of them have a 20% consistency rule. So for me specifically, right, you're doing the math, 20% of 9,000, which is the profit goal, is $1,800, and we're right there. $1,800 is the consistency we met. We closed out the trade manually from there, and we had simply moved on, right? Good components today, great trade, and a stellar week overall. If you guys don't know, we have literally one of my first ever reviews on the Discord, first ever review on YouTube published publicly, talk about first impressions, was how me going over how I lost $48,000 in the trading week. Within 1 day today alone, within the whole week, I've been able to make a return on investment through trading tenfolds, right? So hopefully these recaps are helping, these reviews are helping, but a clear day-to-day, simply riding continuation, not overcomplicating trading, and simply letting price do what it wants, right? And simply watching it and waiting for when our system shows up. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoy the review. With that being said, I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.